It's me you die. Rely on yourself in no way. Believe.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, everyone had a good weekend. I did. I had a good weekend. And yeah, today ought to be interesting. Um, man, ought to be interesting. This whole week ought to be a good one. But today, especially, ought to be good. But before we begin, I want to give a update on the event next year. And we already have 7 confirmed that they're going. And I kind of wanted to give them a shout out for being on time and gung ho and ready to go. And so those are Kofi Houston, Javia Harris, Vivian Mack Boston, Rachel Kiesel, Glenn Kiesel, Candace Kiesel, and Janet Potter. So thank you for signing up. Um, in total, we have 9 that are interested, 7 going, 2 not attending. So um, it's good. It's starting to, the people are starting to sign up. So that's good. Hopefully we can get this ball rolling and we can have a couple hundred, maybe 5,000. I don't know, 1,000 people would be good. Um, and like I said, this is catered to, listen carefully to my words, it is catered to married and those with children. However, if you are single and you want to know the ins and outs of what it takes and how married life and children are, and the best way to, or a good reference point to start, you can come. It's not a problem. Just know that we will not be talking about dating and stuff like that. This is a prep course to get you and your family kind of on track um, with God and keeping Him included in your family, and making you understand that the realization of life is that it's not going to be smooth, but how to navigate the rough. Okay. So as long as you can be okay with that, we will be fine. Feel free to show up. Okay. Now, the topic at hand 11. Y'all been busy. Y'all been busy. Almost half your married life, you've been birthing children. So that's, hey, kudos to you. That's some skill you got. I'm the last of 8, so big families are good, but hats off to you. Hats, hats, hats off to you. Maybe you can come and help us out. You can bring all 11 children's years of knowledge to the table and help us out too. So feel free to show up, Curly. In any case, to the topic at hand. For a long time, very long time, this particular group has been um, gaining traction and roots in the minds, and I would say, venture to say, the weaknesses of people. They are a very radical group of people. Um, and the way they came by their thinking was not out of the history of the Bible itself. This particular group started in a very interesting, interesting manner. Um, we are talking 1880, 85, 86, somewhere in there. Was when they first really got their footing, grounding, and they are kind of like a offspring of the thought process of Marcus Garvey and these Afrocentric and original Black thought process peoples who were, whether we like to admit it or not, by nature segregationists and racists. Say what you want, everyone can be indeed hating of someone else because of how they look and what they were born as. I don't care what you say. I don't care how stupid you want to behave. That thinking that just because you are a melanated person, you can't be racist, that makes you racist and stupid. That's a very bad combination. And I would not brag about being both racist and stupid in one human being. That's not a brag. It's not a boast. It's not a flex. I don't consider that anything good or positive. So I wouldn't brag about being both. I'd kind of keep that low key that you're stupid and racist. That's a tough one to be. I wouldn't brag. Frank Cherry and William Saunders Crowdy were the two of the most prolific founders of this particular movement, and their founding branched out into a multitude of different variants of that belief. Um, some are fully extreme in their thought process, where they want every white person exterminated off the face of the earth. And then there are some who um, are not that egregious towards, but they do not consider the white people of God. In either case, all of them believe that they are the chosen of Israel and that they put their entire emphasis on the fact that they're black and that makes them Israelite. Either way, they have no founding whatsoever to put any of that on. What they love to go back to is this concept of Jacob and Esau. That is their hinging point, Jacob and Esau. And they go back to that because they don't know how to read. Um, and if you listen to them on street corners, you will realize very quickly they don't know how to read. They somehow believe that if they can be loud enough, that means they can understand what they're saying. It does not help them. Um, because they read stuff with the intelligence of like an amoeba, and they do not have the conceptual point to start from because where they're coming from is a point of hate. The two men that started the group had zero regard for anyone. One was in the military, mind you, and they both hated white people. That was just the way they were. And so what they started to do was to try and find a spot in the Bible where they can try and manipulate people and saying they had a word from God directly in order to promote this hateful, disgusting ideology. Now, for any people listening that might be Hebrew Israelite, I don't care what you think about what I'm saying, and I don't care whether you like it or not, and I don't care if you agree, disagree, um, report it or not, whatever you feel like doing, feel free. However, the Bible, whether it be the white one or the black one you own, says the same exact thing throughout it, that you are wrong. So let's go back to your point of view about the Jacob and the Esau thing. So to begin with, let's break down their inability to read, one, and how they don't know anything about the human process. Okay. Here's a baby. Can anyone tell me what race this baby is? Anyone know of what lineage this baby comes from? Anyone? No? Anyone can tell? Just by looking at that picture? Anyone want to take a gander and tell me what race? Obviously human, Don, I know, but you know what I'm talking about. Um, what we consider race today. Okay? Very difficult to tell, right? Very difficult to tell. Now, This one, what race is that? Anyone? Okay. Now, they're both fairly what you would consider red in their skin pigment, a little bit white, a little bit reddish, right? Now, they love to take from the book of Genesis the description of both Jacob and Esau. However, they really love the idea of the description of Esau. They love it. They love, 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 love. Okay. So, with that in mind, I want you to look at the verse of what it says, okay? Because I'm going to show you something that might baffle some, but it shouldn't baffle any of us. Okay? So let's take a little gander here at the verse itself and see what it says. This is the account of the family line of Abraham's son Isaac. Abraham became the father of Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, the Armenian from Padan Aram, and sister of Laban the Armenian. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. This is where they get their initial thought process about two different races and nations. The Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." When the time came to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first came out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. Now, this is where they get their concept that Esau was white, because only white people can have red hair. Now, mind you, the book itself never says anything about the hair being red. It just said he was covered in hair. He was a hairy baby, and that he was red. The last time I checked, red isn't what most white babies come out. Usually they come out a little bit gray. Gray. And if you've watched anything about white babies, and if you hear me say white and black, don't be so stupid to think that somehow I believe that racism is the only defining, but there are differences between the skin pigmentations of people. Okay. So for the sake of the argument, we will call one white and we'll call one black. So hear me out. If you've watched white babies, when white babies come out, sometimes they come out completely pale, grayish almost. And then within minutes, they get to this deep pink. And sometimes they'll go from a deep pink to some spots of blue, wherever they pressed on the baby to pull it out. And then some of them come out completely red. Now, my baby, my little man, Christoph, came out looking like an Asian. I kid you not. This man had a mohawk and his eyes were like if I didn't know any better, I would have sworn that they swapped this baby when I wasn't looking and took our baby and gave us a Asian little boy. He was the complexion of yellow. Like he wasn't white, he wasn't black, he was yellow. This boy came out a full Korean. Okay? Now, if I were to judge based on what someone were to describe to me that baby came out, I would assume that the child would grow up to be an Asian. Didn't. In fact, if you saw him now, he's darker than me now. At 8, he is darker than me. Darker. Mucho darker. Okay, so you can't go based on the fact that it says that he was red Because here's a fun fact for you. Um, this is a black kid. That's red. That's red. But he's not white. Okay? That's a red child. So their stupidity knows no bounds because they want to find anything that puts them in a higher bracket than they deserve. Now, I'll continue breaking down this whole Israel thing for you, but I want to put to bed the nonsense that they want to push, that white people are the evil ones and all this nonsense, because they also go back into Romans talking about Jacob I have loved and Esau I have hated. Blah, 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 blah. That's what they love to talk about. So let's go back to the verse. The first came out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out, and his hands grasping Esau's heel. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Now, the other thing they like to do is use this to show you why black men love their mothers more than their fathers, and why the leaving of the father is so uh, prolific amongst black people, because this is the way it was with Jacob. Like I said, intelligence is not really their strong suit, because they always want to flex a certain scripture to fit what they believe, not watch what it says and build a belief on what it says. They have a belief going in and they take it out of there. Once, when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came on from the open country famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew." I'm surprised they didn't think that the stew was white and unseasoned. But hey, that's just me. I'm famished. That is why he was also called Edom, famished. He wasn't called Edom because he was white and evil. He was called Edom because he was famished. Okay, I'm just saying what it says. Okay. Jacob replied, "First, sell me your birthright." "Look, I'm about to die," Esau said. "What good is a birthright to me?" But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore him an oath, selling him his birthright. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. He ate and drank and then got up and left. So Esau despised his birthright. Now, it sounds to me, if you are going to take the belief that you are of the heritage of Jacob, that you are the one who is more in line with being low down, conniving, thieving, lying. Sounds like you're the one that's more akin to the vile. Your older brother was coming out and you were fighting to pull him back in. Crabs in a bucket sounds about right. Okay, so let's say that you are Jacob. I fail to see how you're the good one. Let's just go by the actions that you say you are. I fail to see how you are the good one. Now, mind you, I'm not telling you my belief. I'm telling you your belief and why you think the way you think is how stupid it is. Just listen to me. You were the ones that lied. You were the ones that were conniving. You're the ones that got your gain by thievery. You took your brother's hunger and manipulated it to get his birthright because you wanted to be first. That does not sound like what you want to portray yourself as. Kind of weird. You don't talk about that though. You talk an awful lot about the fact that Esau was red and that Esau despised his birthright. You didn't talk about the fact that if you are from that line, you don't talk about the fact that you were the one that connived your brother to give up his birthright. I mean, if you're going to talk about your history, talk about all of it. I'm just saying. Now, mind you, again, I'm not giving you my point of view. I'm giving you what the book says. So as they went on, Esau did not consider his firstborn status that important when it came to hunger. He would gladly give up his birthright, and that is on Esau. Everybody knows that. They both made a decision. Esau gave up his birthright, and Jacob connived his brother to get the birthright. Okay, so we have that established. So let's go forward. Now, with the advent of this whole concept of Black Hebrew Israelites, they instigated this concept because they wanted to find value in their so called struggle. So, what they started to do was look at slavery, look at the so called history of white people, and how, God said, Jacob I have loved and Esau I have hated. And they take that and they formulated a uh, a viewpoint that the reason that they're in the way they're in right now in the state we're in is because they were cursed. Israel was cursed, and the reason that you see not that they're the real Jews is because they have actually been fulfilling the curses that you see in the book. The problem, the biggest problem, is that they cannot, not in any way, shape, or form, prove to anyone that the reason they were there and in the kind of things that they were in was because of their skin. They cannot prove in any way, shape, or form that Jacob was black. Did you notice that they never described Jacob? Did you notice that the book never described Jacob? It didn't say he was dark. It described David, no problem. It didn't even say that, Donna. It didn't even say that. It never mentioned anything about Jacob. This is what it said. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. And his brother came out with his hand grasping Esau's heel. That is all it said about Jacob. That's it. That's it. And again, just because it said that he put something on, they described Esau. They described Esau. Even if that's the case, Earl, ain't nobody know what Isaac looked like. Nobody described Isaac. Not a location in the book, if you believe the book, described Isaac. In fact, nowhere do they mention that. Solomon was mentioned as dark, not black, just dark. Still not a descriptor. Dark in comparison to what? Ruddy in comparison to what? You see, when you start to read into the Bible what you want, I am talking about at birth. This is where they get their stuff from, is at birth. And the hair itself is not where they put the emphasis other than the color. And they're taking the color, which it doesn't say the hair was red, to emphasize the fact that he was white. We are not talking about the hair. They take one thing, conflate it with another, and create their own little world. He came out red and hairy. not with red hair. He came out red and hairy, not came out with red hair. Never said if it was straight, never said if it was curly, red hair, hairy. The problem when you take something that isn't said and try to imply does not make you right. It makes you assumptuous. And when you do that with the book, it also makes you a liar. It makes you a liar. If you want to get on the screen and prove to me that Esau or anybody else from the beginning was black, I would welcome you to come on here and tell me that Adam and Eve were black. I want you to show me in the book where Adam and Eve were black. I want you to show me from the beginning where Adam and Eve were black. If you could show me in the book Adam and Eve were black, I'm going to pay you money. I'm going to pay you some money. Tell me Adam and Eve was black and the Bible said so. I'll wait. Put down the verse describing Adam and Eve as black. I'll wait. I'll wait till the cows come home, and I don't even own cows. This is the problem. Or you have to go further back than that. But this is where you get the whole concept from. The whole concept comes from the Edomite idea that white people are the Edomites. Because Jacob became Israel. They didn't go any further past that. They stopped. They started right there. They began right there. That was their original point of reference. So I don't have to go any further back because I'm not trying to prove anything that I believe. I'm trying to prove what they believe. The fact of the matter is that they cannot prove any of the things that they say because none of them can find it in the book other than this location right here. That right there. Now, take a look at this. These are twins. These are twins. Both black parents, twins. We would consider one high yellow, right? Or red bone. And the other one is really dark. So here's my other question. Are they of the same blood? Are they of the same blood? No, yeah. Are they? Yeah. Oh, yes, they are. Same blood. You know what else they don't tell you? Is after the rift between Jacob and Esau. And you know, by the way, you know why um, God said that he hated Esau was because of the birthright selling. Did you also know that Jacob and Esau reconciled? They reconciled. And here we have, I'm glad you're here because you're proving how people don't know how to follow a conversation. You are harping on a race as opposed to a nation. I am not harping on a race as opposed to a nation. The fools called the Hebrew Israelites are the ones harping on race, not me. Those morons are. Those morons are, not me. Now, if you can't keep up with a conversation, bro, then fine. Don't keep up with the conversation. That's on you. That's on you. Like I said, I never claimed that the black Hebrew Israelites were intelligent people. I said from the onset that they were clowns, that they're stupid, that they have no concept of how to read. I said that. I said from the very beginning that their whole mantra was about race, and it is. Because they class their color as the nation. Their whole origin says it in the name, Black Hebrew Israelites. Their entire mantra is a racist ideology. They are some of the dumbest human beings walking the face of this earth today. And there are sloths around in people form. Oh, look, see? Now, I'm going to assume that Truth Matters is one of those ridiculous moronic Hebrew Israelite people. I'm going to assume so. Look at the term he's using towards the Israelites that he considers not Israelites. Look at it. I'm not going to say it because they know what will get me a strike. They prove every time they open their mouth or type something that they're the most disgusting racist people on the face of this earth. Every time they open their mouth, they're some of the most disgusting people on this earth. They're horrible people. They're horrible people. They have no concept of who God is. None. None. They love themselves. They love themselves. They don't love God. They love themselves. They look forward to the day that they can put their feet on top of white people, on top of an unchosen race. This is them. They cannot help it because their father is Satan. The devil is their dad. They were born for the depths of hell. That's what they are. They are making their bed right now in the depths of Hades, and they have no problem doing it. Zero. They have zero problem doing it. When Jacob and Esau reconciled, their nations flourished together. Israel was one of the most rebellious nations to ever exist. Every time, and we've spoken about this before, every time they got something from God, they either wanted more or they exploited it. Every time. The problem with people is that they refuse to let go of what God ended. They don't like to let go because you know what happens when you do the religious thing? You can put yourself above somebody else. The reason they hate the new covenant so much is because it equalizes the ground. The reason they hate the new covenant is because it has an equal footing. You see, because if you let go of the old covenant with the laws and everything that could not even remotely be approached by a human being, you let go of your special standing. Even though when you had your special standing, you abused it, destroyed it, negated it, avoided it. The new covenant, the new covenant includes everyone grafted in. And they don't like that because what it does, it includes everyone. I think it's time that you shut up because you're not doing any favors to yourself sounding that dumb. Like honestly, truth. You should change your name from Truth Matters to I Lie a Lot. Change your name from Truth Matters to I Lie a Lot. Or better yet, change it from Truth Matters to I'm a moron. No, better yet, instead of Truth Matters, to say dumbness and idiocy resides in my brain. That'd be a much better title for your channel. Much better name for your channel. Because anything but truth matters to you. I have seen white people have black babies. And an albino is not white baby. An albino is not anything close to a white person. So a black person can have an albino baby. That means they can make white children. I have seen white people give birth to black babies. That whole concept is nonsensical to draw from. It doesn't prove what started it, and it doesn't prove what will end it. It proves nothing. I have seen white people give birth to a black child, and it was not cheating. She didn't go have sex with some black dude that gave her a mixed baby. You want proof? Go look it up yourself. But then again, like I said, these people want to read into something what they want. They have to read it into it because they cannot get it out of it. And in order to solidify their viewpoint, they will take what they sternly believe because they're inherently hateful and read it into the book. The same way false teachers do, where they'll take a word out of a book, take it out, place it somewhere else in their own world, and call it the description. You are not that special just because you were born a certain look. And since you have no concept of what tribe you came from, it doesn't matter because none of the tribes matter now. And in either case, he will have mercy on who he wants to, and he will have justice on who he wants to. It's his call either way. Then you can leave truth. You see, this is how easy it is. No one invited you here. Nobody asked you to be here. I didn't send you an invite. I didn't say, hey, truth, you know what you should do? You should come watch the show. Never told you that. Never asked your input. Did I? I asked you to prove something to me. You didn't bring that to me. You told me to go back to the beginning. I asked you to show me where in the book it says that Adam and Eve were black. You never addressed that question, not once. But you want me to believe that truth matters to you? If you say truth matters to you and you're telling me to go back, show me where that matters in the beginning. Show me. But you can't. Show me. Mr. Truth Matters. You've done the research, you said. You have beaten the books. You have done all the scientific equations. You know. Show me. Educate me. Show me in the book, going all the way back to No. You don't get that caveat now. Do you want me to go back and bring back? Do you need me to go back and bring up what you said? Because you know truth matters. Do you need me to go bring back up what you said? Do you need me to embarrass you further by showing you what moronic statements you made? Do you need me to do that for you because you can't remember? You make statements on here and you're trying to make it like that you didn't make the statement? You told me to go behind. You told me to go behind the whole Jacob and Esau thing. Go to the beginning. You said go to the beginning. I asked you to prove to me that any of the two beginning people were described by the way they looked. You didn't address that. You ran away from that one, but you went straight to science and do my research. I am showing you the door to answer me. Show me in the beginning where Adam and Eve were given a descriptor of any kind by the way they looked. Thank you for leaving. I can simply read. You started the division with the black Hebrew Israelite. It's you. You are not ready to present this topic with half info. Peace out. In other words, I don't have the answer. I'm a dummy. I'm leaving the conversation because I cannot prove my point. In other words, truth doesn't matter to me. Even though I may possess the truth, I'm not going to present what I have because I don't have it. Every time, and this happens on Too Strong all the time too, they come in here and they do a lot of this. Then you ask them, well, come prove it. Pew! They out of here. Well, I don't have time to prove to you, but you're in the comment section saying that you can prove a whole bunch of stuff. You can prove a whole bunch of stuff, but you can't prove it now because you ain't gonna listen. Like I told you, people, when you read something into something, it's very hard for you to prove it because it's not in there. I don't care what you adhere to. You're not telling me. You are not telling me the answer I asked for. You're not giving me my answer. And don't call me a brother. I'm not a brother to a Satanist. I do not have brothers in Satan's following. Do not call me brother. I want no affiliation with the works of Satan. Do not call me brother. You and I are not brothers. I don't want to go to hell with you. I am not following you to the gates of hell. Leave brother out of your mouth when considering talking about me. I don't have any relations to you, spiritually or otherwise. We are not brothers. Again, where in the scriptures, Torah, Besorah, anything, do you see a description of Adam and Eve? Where? This is how stupid they really are. Millions of years ago proves Adam and Eve were millions of years ago. Millions. So wait, so science tells you that the first people were black on this planet. Black woman is the only woman on the planet with the hydro DNA. That's all the proof you need that Adam and Eve were black, as well as God being black. These are the kind of people that hide in a dark room. This is the kind of people that hide in a dark room and they don't smile, so they go missing. I hate black people because I don't like how stupid you guys think. That's what it is. I hate black people. Well, think what you want, moron. I mean, that's up to you. I mean, if you want to remain stupid the rest of your life, remain stupid the rest of your life. I'm going based on what the book says. The book does not describe anybody by color. The only time it mentions anything is when it says one or two places about a description of hair, a difference between the two people. That's it. All right, Matthew, bye. I'm not dealing with stupid twice in a row. Once from the Truth Matters guy and then once from you. I'm not. I thought you were. Hold on. I thought you were going away. I thought you were going away. Aren't you leaving? Did you say peace out? Is peace out the new greeting now? Is that how you enter a room? Peace out? I'm going to give you one more chance to answer my question. Then I'm kicking you from the room. I'll give you one more chance to answer my question. Prove to me from your Torah or Besorah or the Bible that Adam and Eve were black. Or rather, dark skinned. Let me remove the whole race concept since you have a problem moving past that whole linchpin. Show me. Then save them. Prove to me what you're saying. Save them. Save them. Go ahead. I'm giving you the floor to save them. The floor is all yours. Dark skinned. No longer saying the word black. Show me where they were dark skinned. I'll wait. Save the people in the audience. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Truth matters. Go for it. I'm waiting. Truth? You type pretty fast when you want to, so I'm waiting to see the truth pop out. Please show me, convince your people, the ones in the audience here, that what they're hearing is absolute mess. I'm waiting. Go for it. Again, you're not going to answer. Not going to answer the question. You're not going to help the people out. No, not going to help them out. No. Truth. Excuse me. Truth. I'm waiting. I'm going to give you some time. Like I got time. Black is in the Bible. It's all about nations. However, the scripture describes the plight of slavery. Do again, show me the color. You do know that there were white slaves, right? Oh, here we have one. I knew this clown would come in. I knew this idiot would come in eventually. He will see the title and they can't help but come in. Here's one. We know what he is. Just look at the name. Outlaw for whatever name he wants to call it. So let's go to that verse and see what he's talking about. Genesis what? Let's do this. Let's do this. He says Genesis 2 and what? 7. All right. So he picks one verse. Let's do it. Let's do it. You ready for this, people? I don't think you're ready for this, but maybe you are. Maybe people are ready for this. It, I, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. Wow. Remember when I told you that they read into the book what they want. Here's proof that they read into the book what they want. You ready for this? He said 2 and 7. And the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostril the breath of life, and man became a living being. So he says, what color is dirt, man? Well, it depends on the dirt. It depends. It depends on whether the dirt was clay, fine clay, porcelain clay. It depends. Just saying dirt does not mean it's brown or even black. If you've done pottery, you'll understand that there are some clays and some dirt that's as powder white fine as you can find it. Some of them, some dirt, some in some locations, the dirt is white. And I mean bright white. So again, which color dirt did God use? What color dirt did God use? All right, by truth, you're out. You're not answering my question. I gave you the chance. You didn't answer my question. And I ain't playing this game with nobody. I'm just not playing that game. If you're too stupid to answer my questions, then I'm not dealing with you, bro. I'm simply not dealing with you. It was a simple request. Prove to me your point, and you kept addressing everybody but me. So I ain't doing that. Have you ever seen clay or dirt now being yes, not being brown? I just said so. All right, you want proof. You can't help but be it. You can't help but want to be proven stupid every chance you people get. I'm good with that. I am super good with you being proven an idiot. I have no problem with it. This is porcelain. This is dirt. This is clay. Untouched, unmanufactured porcelain. It's dirt. Family of clay. Suppose God made man out of that. Suppose God made man out of that. Oh, by the way, too, this is also dirt. Hang on. This too is dirt. You see that? That's also dirt. That's not brown. That's red. That's kind of like, I don't know. Oh, that's not, now it's not dirt because you say it's not dirt. This isn't dirt too then? What's this? This isn't dirt? That's not dirt. I'm asking a simple question. Is that dirt? Hmm? Or better yet, let's do this. Hang on. You tell me. What about that one? Yeah, you can go anywhere and find it. Yes. In fact, you can go to Utah and find it. I can find white dirt in the mountains up here in Washington State. When I tell you people are stupid, I fully and unrepentantly call you stupid because you literally are the dumbest people I have ever had the displeasure of meeting. Like you are, there is slow, there is short bus, there is special needs, and then there's you. Because you're so hell-bent on proving stupid stuff that you will believe anything a moron tells you. You will believe it because you want to find acceptability because you hate yourself so much. He used dirt, and all dirt is brown. I don't feel bad for them. This is a choice. They are making this their decision. They are sitting down with themselves and deciding to be this slow. They have decided it. And putting all of that aside, let's just take a jump. That's the best you can come up with. That I just proved to you that your whole concept of what you're building your belief around is dumb. That's the best you can come with. We're funny. Disprove what I just showed you. Disprove it. I will let you disprove what I just showed you, and learn to type too. Prove to me that dirt only comes in one color. Prove it to me. Prove to me that the original dirt was only one color. And because of the color of the dirt, mankind will replicate based on the color of dirt. Hold on. I want you to prove to me that the fact that God used dirt to make man, that the dirt was the deciding factor in how the babies were going to come out. I want you to prove to me that dirt contains DNA of humankind. Not only that, I want you to prove to me that dirt contains only black DNA. I also want you to prove to me that you can make man today from dirt. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but they have to have a mind in order to waste it. For them, a mind is a terrible thing to have. They don't have it. You see how stupid they are? Wouldn't you be the same complexion as your parents? If all dirt were the same, yeah, I would be. Remember, you're the one that said because he used dirt, that's why it was proven that you're brown. You are. Does anybody else have a problem following this guy's logic? You tell me that, read this verse, Genesis 2:7. I read it. It said dirt. And you said that proves that they were black. Then you tell me, wouldn't you be the same complexion as your parents if all dirt were the same? You were the one saying that all dirt's the same. Not me. That was you. So in other words, you're agreeing with me because you don't know how to prove your own point. Hello? What is wrong? Man. Anyway, putting past all of this Old Testament knowledge-based stuff, and I use knowledge very loosely, the whole concept of the rebellion of Israel, the whole premise of the redemption of Israel over and over, the whole premise behind the entirety of the old before Jesus showed up was to prove that regardless of what man did, there would never be a way for them to be fully pure before God. Everything that took place in the garden completely destroyed man's hope of ever facing and standing before God in right standing. Sacrifices couldn't do it. His justification from bringing them out of Egypt didn't rectify their hearts. Nothing of law could bring them to the fruition of purity. Not a thing. That was the whole story being told in the Old Testament. That the sanctification of man could never happen by law because it was not a law issue. It was a disobedience issue that ushered in sin. Jesus was the fulfillment of the law, the ending of the curse of sin, and the reconciliation of man to the Creator. They don't want that because that puts them in equal footing with the people they hate. They have to find a method of hate, plaster it on the book to make themselves feel justified in how they want to feel. Mama Carol, you're asking them to do a whole lot of, you're asking them to do too much now. You're asking them to do too much. Maybe Eve was white. Maybe Adam was black and Eve was white. Maybe they were an interracial couple. Maybe you might be onto something. Maybe that was the first interracial couple. Eve was white, and Adam was black. You know, they'll probably tell you that story was a made up thing. No woman came from no Eve, no side. Eve was the first. They don't want the gospel. They don't want the kingdom message because in the kingdom, everyone is subservient to God himself. In their kingdom, everyone is subservient to them. This is the problem. In their world, everyone else that's not like them is subservient to them in their kingdom. They are hell-bent on this word here. We will make your enemies your footstool. It didn't say them. It said God would. God will make his enemies the footstool. Stop calling me brother, you heathen Satanist piece of mess. Stop calling me brother. I'm not your brother. Don't include me in your Satanistic, nasty stuff. I don't want any part of it. I'm not a brother with Satan. Don't put brother on the end of anything when you talk to me. I'm not your brother. Never will be. Don't want to be. As long as you hold to that stupidity, I am not your brother. I am not anything close to your brother. Nowhere near. I am not your brother. You're a Satan following, heathen worshiping piece of crap, and I do not want anything to do with you. As long as you hold that viewpoint, keep that crap to yourself. You keep following Satan to the depths of hell, but don't bring me along with you. Brother, please. No, I'm not supposed to love Satan. I'm not supposed to love anything of the works of the deeds of darkness. I am not supposed to. So no, I don't. I don't. You heard it here. I don't. I will have no affiliation with the deeds of darkness. I will have no fellowship with evil. That's you. I'm not having it. So no, I don't love everyone. I don't. I do not love a Satan worshiper. And I don't love those who are dragging others to hell. No. You take yourself there if you want. That's your choice. Go for yourself. Don't bring me with you and don't include me in no brothership with you. I'm not your brother. Not your brother. Don't get it twisted. Don't think because I look like somebody you might be knowing about in terms of my skin color that I'm your brother. I'm not your brother. No, they don't, Rachel. They have no concept what the word love means. If you guys don't want the new covenant, then stay in the old and sacrifice all the bulls and rams you can find. Hope that one day, with all the good following of the law that you can do and mishapping just once, see how well that works out for you. As for me, as for me, I am accepting the better way, which is the one true path through Christ, plain, point blank. No amount of works can save me. No amount of following the law can save me because I can't keep any of it. If you break one, you're done. You just have to break one. There is a new covenant where I am grafted into and where he put to death the mistake of Adam and Eve. He created a pathway for us to be able to stand before the ever living God, blemish free, and one day to be before him for eternity. If y'all don't want that, why you here? If you love this pathway of the black Hebrew Israelites so much, then stay in your lane. Since white people ain't coming, this room here is for everybody. But if you come in here with that division nonsense, leave. Especially if you come in here thinking that you are the only one making it somewhere. The last time I checked, he took everything out of the realm of human hands when he died on that cross. He took everything out of the realm of human hands. He took all the division that we could even remotely try to come with and put it to death on the cross. The years of division, the waywardness of Israel that he showed how people have come and fallen, put an end to the blood of goats and rams, and replace it with the blood of Christ. Period. Trust me, bruh, it's not a waste of time. Here's why it's not a waste of time. It cannot ever be a waste of time to expose the deeds of darkness. It cannot be a waste of time to expose the deeds of darkness. Because you never know who might hear that's not fully sold on the stupidity yet. And it just might pull them away from the edge. It just might. I mean, I understand there are tons who will jump right in and be happy with going to hell. They might be just content with doing it, but there might be just one. There might be just one that will be pulled back from the edge, turn to God, and figure this out. So, no, I don't consider it a waste of time. Because here's the thing, everything they come with, the book can debunk. Everything they can come with, the book can debunk. They will come and say, science says this, and man says that, and the Torah says this. And even when the Torah they think says something, it doesn't say what they said. They will always lie on the book because they have no other choice. They have no other choice. When truth is completely against you, You have to create an alternative. And the alternative will always be a lie. But if you can paint the lie just happy enough for people to listen, you could get a few to come to you. Especially if you use the plight of somebody. And this is their tactic. They will come to you and they will bring you the plight of your ancestors. And you're in this place because of your ancestors. And you're cursed. You can't help that. But here, we will show you that you just forgot who you were. What it really is that you just forgot. You just forgot. And if I can convince somebody that they've just forgotten how great they are, I can denounce the sacrifice of Jesus like that. Because the better you think you are, the less need you have for salvation. If I can convince you that you are just fine and you just forgot that you are special, I've got you. You don't need this Jesus nonsense. That's a white thing. It's a white thing. The Catholic Church made that up. You just forgot how awesome you are. You forgot that you are exalted. You forgot. Some even go so far as to say you forgot that you are a God. So you will never see your need for God. You will never fully want the sacrifice to reunite you because you never thought that you were separated. You ever ask somebody how they feel about themselves? Well, I'm not that bad. Oh, it's just a small stuff that I've done. It's just small stuff. We are not talking about your actions of what separates you. Your state separates you. Just your existence in the state you're in is separation enough. Your deeds are simply a reflection of your state. But whether you do a lot of deeds or a small amount of deeds, any of the deeds from the state you're in is separation. And the reason Jesus came was to remove that dividing. But the more people preach that you're not that bad off, you only have a few things to stop doing, you will never realize the true reason that Christ came. You're not going to see it. And you're not going to want it because, in order to have that want, you have to see your need. You have to see your need. A lot of them are like, if I find it here. This is the true state of them. Okay. In Luke 18, I want to bring this up as the last bit. This is what they really are. They are Pharisees amongst all Pharisees. To some who were confident in their own righteousness and looked down on everyone else, Jesus told this parable. Two men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, And even like this tax collector, I fast twice a week and give a tenth of all I get. But the tax collector stood at a distance. He would not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I tell you that this man, rather than the other, went home justified before God. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. They are a prideful, disgusting, hateful, racist, brain dead ideology. And their father is Satan himself. And they will stand on the street corners and scream how amazing they are and how horrible other people are, simply by not being them. They are disgusting. You people are bigots and blah, blah, blah. And every other pejorative term they can come up with, they will spew at you because they are a Pharisee among Pharisees. And they will stand there and act as though they are the best. And God loves them simply because of their existence. Meanwhile, here comes a man who knows his state, who knows that what he possesses is rags before God, and understands that there is no good that dwells in him, and that he does not deserve salvation. And he will fall before the ever living God and plead to be saved. That man sees his need for the blood. That man will see himself proven out in the body of Christ. If you don't want, then don't. But since you can't prove any of the stuff you believe, there's no need for anyone to listen to you. I will say this in closing. If you are out there on the fence trying to decide whether or not God is for you, this Christianity thing, it's not even about the title of Christian. It's not even about the current day definition of Christian. There are many who say they are, and they're not. They say they're near me, and their hearts are afar off. There are many that say they are Christian. Many. This is about being a follower of God in your heart. This is about renouncing the old and taking up the new. The good thing about this, and this is why I say I address people when he brings them out, people might think I go off into tangents and weeds, but I don't. I really don't. When he highlights something, I address it. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about something, and the rest of the week really is going to be harping on the tail end of what we're talking about now. The inclusive church, and I'm not talking about the homosexual agenda. The inclusive church, what utter surrender looks like, and dusting off your feet. Those three topics will come completely, perfectly right behind this. Because the truth of the matter is this: no lineage, no bloodline, no title saves you. Jesus saves you. Jesus saves you. His sacrifice ushered in the only possible way to get back in front of the ever living God. And if that's not something that you want, so be it. So be it. But don't get it conflated and think that just because you want to feel special, it makes you special. It doesn't. Jesus is the special one, and he has made it possible for you to be grafted in to the spiritual kingdom, the one that you will be living with after you have transitioned from this world. And again, if this is not something you want, so be it. If you want to continue down that path, so be it. Every man has to make his own reckoning with God. But just because you are wrong doesn't mean I can't tell you what's right. In either case, this religion of the Hebrew Israelite, black Hebrew Israelite, is one of the more debased forms of human interaction you can find. Their goal is not unity, their goal is not peace, their goal is lordship. They have no desire to conform to the way of Christ. They have no desire for that. They have no love in their hearts for the souls of man, hence why they push what they push. And for those that you might think I'm contradicting myself when I say I don't love everybody, I don't. Because here's the thing, I am not preaching a lie, I'm not saying a lie, I am giving you the options out there. And if I didn't care about your soul, I wouldn't be saying it. But as for loving you, I don't have to when you are blatantly spitting in the face of God on purpose. You willingly hear the truth and walk away from it. So, no, I don't have to. We'll cover that in the whole dust your feet off thing. Consider this me dusting my feet off. Every time I tell you the truth, you don't want it, I'm dusting my feet off. I don't have to address you again. You are now without excuse. You are now without excuse. In other words, do you, boo? Do you? Savage Patriots will be on at 6:30 today. Um, So look forward. People had asked about the mix. It's in a transitional state right now. Um, Neither here nor there, going forward nor going backward. We're just kind of in limbo for the moment. So um, binge watch a couple others. We'll be back when we're back, and we don't know when that is. So um, again, for those of you who have signed up, congratulations and thank you. Look forward to meeting you next year. Um, if you haven't signed up yet, please go do so. I'm going to drop the link to the sign up page here in the chat. Feel free to do it. And you know what else I'm going to do? I think I'm going to create another thing here. There. This way, for those who are coming later in the post live, they can see it scrolling across the bottom, so you can't say you didn't have the email or the website or anything. It's right there, scrolling away. Okay, you can go there and read all about the event next year, July 24th through the 26th. We have been waiting on specific topics to drop. We have a couple of things we're researching, and so we're not wanting to, we're waiting on other things to come in. So we have a bunch of stuff that we're working on right now, and that we can't just jump the gun on, because you know us, we want to bring receipts. So we got to find our receipts. So receipts are coming. We just have to make sure we get everything processed correctly. So just be patient with Too Strong. It's not a matter of, we're still dropping content. Um, the ones that we want to, though, we have to make sure we get down right. So, um, so in any case, there's the event. Um, Here's the PO box if you want to send anything. I got a couple of letters the other day, so thank you to those of you who sent stuff. And I got a cool little book, Wizard of Id book, those Id cartoons book. Pretty funny stuff. I like them too. And of course, if it is on your heart, you've been asking about it, talking to God about it, here is the options for helping with what I'm doing. I don't think I can call it ministry myself. I'm doing what he asked me to do. And so if it's something that you want to help and assist with in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and you've asked him about it, there are your options. I'm not saying you have to or you need to, otherwise you're not a good Christian. That's not how I do things here. This is a matter between you, God, and your heart. Okay. He's the one that has to push and he's the one that has to prod, not me. I simply have to have the door open for whoever feels like walking through it. That's all. Okay. Love you guys. And hopefully you guys can make it next year. You have time. You have a little under a year now because the 24th has passed. Try and make it, because it would just be good to meet most of you. It'd be kind of nice. It'd be really good to put a face to the context of chatting here. It'd be really nice. Yeah, more than enough time to plan for it. Like I said, you put away $1 for the next 2 months every day. You'll have enough to make it. See, so easy. $1 a day, you'll be able to make it. Tons of time to sign up. The sign up will stop like a month before. I think a month before. But other than that, it'll be up and running. So plan on it, figure it out, get your time request in for days off, 5-day weekend, whatever, and be good. I would love to meet some of you. Some of them, I'm just kidding. I'd like to meet all of you if you can. So, what format you talking about? Have I changed what format? What format have you asking about? Before I leave, I'll answer that one question. What format do you think I've changed or asking about changing? Yay. Congrats. Yay. I know that quite a few others are trying to sign up as well. So I know Chris is going to sign up eventually, he said. And so that's good. Hopefully, everyone that else is planning to, you do. Oh, okay. So it'll be families and couples, whether you are. So there are two different brackets that I'm really focusing on, the couples and families. So there will be a day for um, fathers and husbands to have their own class, mothers and wives to have their own class, and then the children will have their own class. If you are married, no kids, feel free. If you are single and kids, feel free. But again, this is not a class targeted towards finding you a spouse. It is about making sure that your family, whatever dynamic that it has, can interact on a godly space and interact properly. If you are single and no children, you still want to come because you want to find out what's the best way to function when you do become a parent or a spouse, feel free to do that too. But like I keep saying, it is catered to a certain group. There have been lots of events where people talk to the singles, where they talk to just the men, they talk to just the women, and they talk to just the kids. I want this to be a family event, whether to prep you for your family or to prep you for spousal interaction. It must prep you to do what God's plan is. And I think we've long past needed a group session to where the children, the parents can come together and learn how to interact with each other um, in Christ the proper way and move from there. So it's a family event. Okay. Um, so it'll be great. It'll be really good to have you guys show up. I'm really hoping that many, many decide to come. And it's not about um, reach. This is about trying to get us on track. This is about trying to get us on track because I think we've come so far away from the dynamic of what God wants, and we replaced it with all kinds of things. We need to get back to God. We need to get back to God. Period. Okay, so we'll catch up. We'll see you guys on Savage Patriots today at 6:30 Eastern. Keep an eye out for Too Strong. We have a bunch of little videos that we've put up so far, very educational and eye-opening. So go take a look at them. And I'll be back tomorrow with the Inclusive Church. We'll talk some more about that. Because the same way I can blast the Hebrew Israelites, I have plenty ammunition to blast the current church. If not more, I have way more to plaster them with because they should know better and they don't act better. Okay, so we'll see you guys, Savage Patriots, 6:30. Don't forget. Again, scrolling at the bottom, and I'll be checking my mail sometime this week. If you guys did send me something, thank you for those who have. Much appreciated. Wisdom calls to you from the streets. Please, please, please find wisdom. Peace.
Hold tight,